Hello and welcome back to Mike's Basement. I'm Michael, as usual, and today we're going to talk about the new PTU patch that we got, 3.13.0 actually. In reality we just call it 3.13, but it is really 3.13.0. Never mind. The thing is that this new patch has undergone several iterations from now on. I mean, first, of course, with the Evocati, and then now it is at wave 1 where I have access. So I will give you an introduction to the new patch and show you the new stuff there's in it, and have a little conversation about about the patch. I'll start off by saying that many people have said that this is a thin patch. There's not much content in it. There's not much interesting stuff going on in it. And to some extent, I can agree with that. I mean, there isn't a lot of content in it per se, but I will say there is the foundation for content that can be a game changer for Star Citizen as it is now. When we talk about the gameplay, of course, there's a lot of other things that is not directly influenced in that sense. But I think there is some new stuff in this patch that is really nice. It's a good addition. Then there's also a lot of people that is annoyed that the new patch is very buggy. And for the most part, I can certainly understand that. But I will say my take on it, just as it is that if the purpose of the PTU patch isn't to catch severe bugs before it goes out to the PU, then why have it? I mean, surely we can have some internal testing at CIG and then give it to the Evocati to just flush out the worst bugs, but from there on off you could just put it out into the PU if it wasn't meant to do something different. So my take on it is that I actually enjoy that there are these bugs, because it means that I feel that I can contribute to this game, not just by playing it and giving CIG some data, but actually finding bugs and contributing data, knowledge, experience about these bugs. And then hopefully we can make a better patch. I mean, that's the goal, right? News for me is that I decided to upgrade my Constellation Taurus to a Mercury Star Runner. And I know there are probably some of you out there that will say, "Hey, traitor." And some of you might also say, but then you can't show us it. I can. I definitely can, because no matter whether I own the Taurus or not, I will get access to it when it comes out. Just like I get with every other ship that is just newly released. I get that ship for a whole week where I can prod it and test it and fly it around and see how it works and give you my opinion about that ship. But I must also say that the reason why I decided to go for the Mercury Star Runner instead of the Taurus is that, first of all, I mean, we can name the Star Runner right now. That's pretty cool, right? And for those of you who are astronomy buffs out there, I mean, I'm an astronomer from education, but those of you who know a little bit about astronomy, I have decided to call my ship Henrietta Lewitt. And some of you might recognize the name Henrietta Swan Lewitt, but I didn't want to include the swan, that it became too long. So yeah, that's the name of my ship. I think it's pretty cool that we have individual names on the ship right now. We also have serial numbers on them as well. So I'll give you, at some point, I'll give you a little tour of the Mercury Star Runner. I think I already released a video about it, so it wouldn't be more... I mean, it wouldn't be another review of the ship or sort of introduction to the ship. It will probably be more along the lines of why I decided to go for the Mercury Star Runner instead of the Taurus. In short, I can say the decision was made by the fact that we now, for quite a bit of time, has known some of the stats for ships that are not coming out into the verse for some time. I mean, right now in this patch, I mean, it's a later iteration of the patch, but it is in 3.13. We'll get 2 of the star lifters, the M2 and C2, and we have known their stats for a while, so they're just getting there. But also the cargo stats for something like the Idris or the Javelin, anything like that, we know that in advance. The Hull series, we know how much they have. It can be projected. I mean, it can be assumed what they want to give it. They can change it. That's fine. I mean, that's the way it goes. When we make a new ship, we can change some of the parameters of it. But what annoyed me was that there's absolutely nowhere to read what the cargo capacity of the Taurus is going to be, and so it all comes down to speculation. What is it? Is it double a normal Connie? Is it, I mean, just a little bit above the max? I mean, something like 150 or 160 SUs. Nobody knows, and that annoyed me a little bit, because at least with the Mercury Star Runner, I know what I get. 114 SCUs, a little bit less than the max, but way cooler and can do a lot of other stuff. It's a data runner, so it's a medium data runner. You can probably also use it for smuggling. I mean, it has a lot of potential. And first and foremost, I want to say that when I review ships, when I look at ships that I want to fly, I sort of evaluate them by 2 parameters. Certainly I evaluate them in how they fly. Are they nice to fly? Are they sluggish? Don't they feel right? I mean, the Caterpillar is very sluggish, but it feels right because it's a long, big ship. And so with the 890 jump and all that, so it's not that I just want every ship to be fast. It's not that, but does it feel right when I fly? Does it feel reasonable? And I must say the Mercury Star Runner, in my taste, really does. It's a nimble. It's not a small ship. I mean, it's roughly 50 by 50 meters and then about 20 meters in tall. But it's not very elongated like the Constellation series. The other parameter that I evaluate ships by is when I'm inside them. Is this a ship that I would want to live in? Or is this a ship that I would want to, survive in? Can I survive in the ships? And for let me give some examples. The Carrack, the Caterpillar, and also now here the Mercury Star Runner. Those are a subset of ships, and also the 600i and obviously the 890 jump. But nevertheless, these are ships that I think to myself, I can live inside those. Now we do have a luxury variant of the Constellation. It's the Phoenix, I think it's the Phoenix. It is very nice. I mean, it's a luxury, but it still feels like sort of a transport ship. You do have a bar, but you don't have a kitchen or anything like that. And one of the things that really got to me about the Mercury Star Runner is that it feels like it has been designed to be a ship that you would want to live in. And I know this is completely ridiculous because it's a digital ship. I mean, it could be anything. But if I have to spend time inside a ship and also spend money on it, whether it's real money or in-game money, I want to have a ship that I am satisfied with not only flying, but also being in. And those are some of the ships that fall into that category. Whereas something like the Freelancer series and the Constellation series, as cool as they look, and as much as I love flying them, they do look to me as ships that you can survive in, not live in. And that I've found that is somewhat of a big difference to me. So one of the things that I would like to mention now that we're at it, and if there are any CIG developers or anything like that looks at this video, please listen to this, because at least, I mean, look at it as some kind of an idea, but one of the things that has puzzled me a little bit is that CIG is, of course, I mean, working on making the game content that we have right now as good as possible. They are also working on making the technical aspects of the game as good as possible. But they are obviously also working on adding new gameplay loops, new gameplay mechanics. They talked about that we're going to get in future releases a very simple version of reclamation, because we're going to get a little hand tool or tool that can either strip ships or repair them. So they're seeing this as two different sides of the same work. One of the things that like I said that puzzled me is that all of these gameplay loops, whether it be mining, be reclamation, reclaiming, or anything like that, also for that matter, new types of trading, I mean new types of hauling and all that, they require new physical objects. They might also require new user interface objects. I mean, obviously we are trying to go from the old Flash over to the new building blocks, so anything that is in Flash will be converted eventually, but some of it might also require new UI. One of the things that I've noticed is that data running, if you sort of imagine a very simple first iteration of data running, doesn't really require anything. I mean, obviously it requires code. I mean, you have to code the gameplay loop in, and you might also probably want to make a new user interface in order to make the gameplay loop a little bit more interesting. But in essence, you don't need any new physical objects for first iteration of data running. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you fly in a Mercury Star Runner, and you are given a mission, a task that you have to fly to a specific point in space. You have a quantum marker there. There you have to wait and listen with the antenna opened, in the antenna chair, whatever you call it, as a scanning chair, for a certain signal. And when that signal comes, and you have to recognize that signal, you have to record it or catch it, if you will. You have to extract the data from that stream. And when you have done that, you need to fly to a specific point in the system, and then hand off that data to whoever gave you the mission. And I see it like this. And mind you, I'm definitely not a game developer or anything like that. And I know rudimentary programming. That's all. But I see it like this: flying to a specific point in place is like a trigger. So when you are there, the data signal will begin to stream. You'll hopefully get a timer, so you know that when you're sort of when it's a good idea to turn all the stuff on. And then you recognize as it is now, if you have to do like, say, you have to recognize a specific signal, anything like that, that will require some new user interface. But they made a completely new user interface for mining in one patch. So it's definitely doable in terms of, what CIG can manage to do. And then, just like when you land on a station, you can trade by going for. You have physical containers for trading stuff, but there's no really handoff, right? You have it, and then you don't have it. And with a first iteration of data mining, you don't even need to have that, because obviously data is on a server. You have a server room in the Star Runner. And so you can just land at that specific point and then go into, if it's a physical person, not a physical, but a real person, or if it's a computer, whatever it is, and then connect and hand over the data. And I know eventually it will be so that you can actually physically take the part of the server that you have stored the data on, take it out, and then store it safely on the ship or anything like that. And then you can hand over that specific physical object to whoever required you to do the mission. But for a first iteration, you don't need to do that. So, like I said, I'm a bit puzzled why CIG hasn't gone that way when they released the Mercury Star Runner in the first place. And they might have something on the way that I don't know about. But I mean, I won't sit here and say it's really easy to do so. I mean, I did say it, and I think it should. I mean, it sounds relatively easy because you don't have to make anything new physical objects, physicalize anything that you can move around or stack or anything like that. You just have to make, I mean, triggers and code. And mind you, it might be a lot of code, probably is. But it's not more than that. You don't have to get designers for physical objects or anything like that into this gameplay loop. Eventually you will, but for the first iteration, as I see it, you don't. And that would give the Mercury Star Runner something else to do than just fly around and be a hauler, which is also one of the reasons I bought it, right? But that was just some thoughts that I had. But yeah. Let's go to the release view and take a short look at what we get in this first iteration of 3.13. I mean, the next will be 3.13.1 and so on, but I use the term iteration. So let me share my screen with you and let's take a look. Alright, so here we are. Hopefully you can see what we are dealing with here. So as you can see, we are in 3.13 and we have some stuff here that we are going to take a look at. Some of it I will go into more depth with and some of it I will just graze over quickly. Because it's not something that I think is very important for the game as it is, what I'm interested in right here. But obviously it does make a difference. And the very first one here is something like that. So we have refinery station non-commercial overlays. What it really does is, in my opinion, it's really just make some of the stations more empty, seem more empty. That's it. I mean, they changed the layout a bit, and I think it's harder to find your way around it, even though it's definitely easier than it was before. But other than that, I don't see the real big difference here. So we have a Stanton system polish. It's a visual improvement, and I will say it is a visual. It is a real improvement of the visual. Don't get me wrong there. But it's not something that I want to go very much into depth with, because it's not something that's really important. And the same goes for the new asteroids. Mind you, I've been a little bit close to some of them, and they look better. They are more organic in nature, but other than that. Cave entrances, drive-in and sinkhole. I will deal with these in a separate video because I think they deserve some more time, because they have more to them than just a cave. You can do missions and all sorts of stuff in them. So that will be for a separate video, but I will mention it here that we have gotten that now. We got two kind of missions, quantum sensitive deliveries and timed multi-drop deliveries. I will also not go into very great deal of depth with these, because they are essentially just a different kind of delivery mission. I will maybe will look at them a little bit more in another video, but right now it's not what I have on my plate. What I do have on my plate right now, what I have for you right now, is a look at the new Shield Effects version 2. Now let me expand this a little bit. Sometimes I think that CIG use kind of wording that is hard to decipher what it really is meant. Let me just read up to. They might have changed it, but let me read up for you. Let's see. Implementing improvements including the use of particles with signed distance fields to allow shields to more closely conform to the shape of the vehicle, allowing better visibility at distance, creating clear visual cues that the shield is being damaged and its overall health. I think that when you read this, it seems like it's just a visual improvement. And let me just show you something that sort of give that cue a little bit more, because if we go over here to it's on the gameplay here. So we in 3.14 we are getting, let me see if we can find it. Was it down here? No. Cortec. Yeah. Let me show you. Shield system tech replacement. Adapt shield code to determine shield hit based of dynamically contoured shield measures for more accurate combat gameplay and to eliminate possible weak points in shield. This also extends shield's tech to entities beyond just vehicles. I honestly believe that when you read these two combined, and I did that and a lot of people did, it seems that shield effects version 2 is just visual improvements, whereas the real nitty-gritty, the real meat on the bone is here in the shield system tech replacement. But we have been told several times that in order to make these shield effects version 2, it has to be, physical, it has to be technical also. So we actually do have science distance field shields right now, meaning that many of the holes that we had, shield holes that we had, they should be fixed by now. There are still some problems with the SDF shields, but it's a different story. Let me just collapse all of this so that we only have 3.13 to concentrate on. So that's one of the things I want to show you. Mining subcomponents is also one of the things I want to show you. They are actually quite interesting from a mining perspective. UI reputation. This is one of the things that I want to go a little bit more into depth with. Not gameplay wise, I want to do a lot of missions to improve my reputation, but I want to show you what the reputation system does, and I want to try to give my opinion on what the future perspectives and the general difference that this system can make, because I think even though some people seem to think that this is in general they say that this is a minor improvement, and obviously it's a UI improvement, that's really what it is, but I think it's like bringing in the basics, the fundamental that you need in order to really make reputation a core part of Star Citizen, which I believe it should be, both for criminals and for mission givers. But in general, one of the things that I would like the reputation system to expand to is that we have something like a rep sheet. So right now, as the criminal system works, is that if you are a bad boy and you do something you shouldn't, then you get a crime stat. If you do something really bad, then you get a crime stat of 3 or above. It's 3 to 5. So if you're a homicidal maniac, then you'll probably end up around 5 or 4, something like that. But I see the crime stat as something like a warrant for arrest, and obviously as higher the crime stat is, the more interested people really are in getting you arrested, what it really is. But when you, whether you hack your crime stat or you go to prison and do your sentence, when you're finished, it's completely clean. You're a blue player, you are a civilian, you can do anything you want. This means that you can be a pirate, a really hardcore pirate. You can kill a lot of people, steal the stuff, get a crime stat. Then you can go into something like security post Korea, or you can go to one of the station, or you can go to prison. And whenever your crime stat has been fixed, you are again a completely blue player. You are just like anyone else. You are a civilian and all that, and nothing whatsoever can distinguish you as a pirate, because you are probably still, have the pirate mindset, but you're just, you are figuring as a law-abiding citizen. So what I would like the reputation system to do is that when you get a crime stat, and when you get consecutive crime stats, or a high enough crime stat, it will give you some reputation. Just like a rap sheet. So let's say you have murdered a lot of people and you got a crime stat 5, you get rid of that. Then you murder a lot of people again and you get a crime stat and you hack it and it goes away. But then you are registered in some sort of criminal system in the reputation that will give you some kind of marker in the universe. So let's say that We keep that civilians that are law-abiding, they're blue. We say that at aggressors, people with crime stats and the sort, they are red. But then anyone who has something in their rep sheet will be orange, for example. So this, I think, will be more fair for law-abiding citizens. Let's say that you are a miner and you mine a certain spot, and then you notice someone comes near you. Now you can be really paranoid about it and you just leave. That will probably serve you well in many occasions. But usually you would just say, well, it's probably a miner just like me who's come out for mining. So, I mean, sure. But then it's not. It's a pirate and he destroys your ship and he steals your stuff and laugh about it all the way till he does it again. With reputation crime stat, I mean a criminal reputation system, he would be shown on the radar as an orange dot, meaning that you know the minute he enters into your radar range, he's a pirate, he's a known pirate, and then you can escape out or take precautions, whatever you want to do, call a friend, whatever it is. I mean, I think that would be more fair, because I think it's really unfair that pirates that want to be pirates that really want to be pirates, not just I want to be a pirate today and be a bad boy and then I'm fine the rest of the time, but the real dedicated pirates, they should figure every day, as long as they are continuously registered within the criminal system, they should be represented as a known hostile, a known pirate, whatever you want to call it. So I'd like to see for CIG to implement that kind of thing into the reputation system. But I think this lays the basics also for, let's take an instance where you want to hire someone to be your escort. I mean a real player, not NPCs, real players. They should also be registered into this reputation system here and be, I mean, you should have a list of people that have declared themselves mercenaries, whatever you want to call it, soldiers of fortune, whatever it is, people that you can hire to protect you. And then they are rated, so you know if someone is very low rated, perhaps has 0 stars, he might be a fake one that want to take your stuff. But if you had something like someone with 5 stars, 5 out of 5, you know that he has done a lot of jobs protecting other people, and they have been satisfied with his work. So I think that all of this hopefully will get into the reputation system. Let's move on. Spawn closets, as far as I know, they are not in the game yet, so we're going to go past them. Mounted guns, you can use mounted guns on vehicles, probably also the Valkyrie. I don't have a Valkyrie in the PTU right now, so that's not relevant. There are also mounted guns on the ground, but I will not go into depth with these. If I do, it will also be in a separate video, or perhaps even when the patch goes live. Force reactions is also something I don't really think I can test by myself. It will also be something that is shown, I mean, occasionally in other videos. Vehicle names and serial numbers, it is not something I will go into really big details, great details with, but obviously since I have a named ship, I will show you that it has names and serial number. Vehicle visual degradation is also something that I won't be going very much into detail with, because it simply takes too time to show it. If I can show it, I will, but probably not. This, however, the Merlin constellation docking, also as we know, the first iteration of ship-to-ship docking, that I will show you, and also in a great amount of detail as I can. With, I mean, it's not something that that you can dock in 15 different ways. You can dock and you can undock, and that's pretty much it. But I will sort of give you a hint about whether we still have some of the bugs that was known before. Ship to station docking is not something that you have right now, so I won't be going into that. Object push and pull. If I get the opportunity, I will show you, but it will probably be for another video, because apparently these cards that you can push around are relatively hard to find, as I've been told. The Grey Cat Rock DS, I don't have access to it, so obviously I can't show it to you. Right now it's for some content creators and for Evocati alone. And the same goes for the Tumbril Cyclone MT. It's basically a Cyclone with bigger missiles and a big gun, and that's pretty much it. The Tumbril Nova is not here yet. The M2 Hercules Starlifter is not here yet, and the C2 Hercules Starlifter is also not here yet. So these are some of the things that I will be showing you right now when we go into the game. But first, let's just take a quick peek at the new patch notes that we got. So we have a 3.13.0J. There's a number out here. So what they want us to test, and that is also some of the things that I will look a little bit into. Cave entrances, FPS cave missions, ship-to-ship docking, that's one of them. Sign distance shields. Tech, we'll look into that. Reputation, yes. New quantum sensitive and time delivery missions, maybe. But I think it's for a different, a later video. Pushables, not here. Mounted guns, not here. Force reactions and Cyclone MT, not here. One thing that I did mention that is not mentioned here that we have gotten, we've gotten a new mining UI, so I'll also show you that. It is actually, I mean, it's also one of these smaller quality of life improvements, but in my opinion, it really does make a big difference. Now, there are some funny stuff here with the known issues. Customized loadout is reset when name is changed. I don't fly the 100 series, but missing picture on roll is a pretty big thing. The elevators lose collision when snub is undocked. Definitely going to show you that. Quantum sensitive counter can become stuck to hand while lacking all functionality, except that it can blow your ship off even though it doesn't react to anything. On landing pads, trolleys are unable to be pulled up the entryway, counter ramp or elevator ramp, so that's why they're really not that interesting right now. Docking with moving ship lags behind, causing a large snap into the dock position. Going to look for that. Dock Merlin anti-reaction don't show when constellation is moving. I don't think we can test that because I'm just me. Mounting weapon while holding a grenade will cause the player to enter a broken state. We're not going to do that. When refueling quantum fuel, yeah, I know that. It says hydrogen fuel 100%. Hydrogen fuel 100%. Just keeps going on saying that while you fill your quantum fuel until it's refilled. Character will suffocate for a few seconds whenever you change your helmet. I haven't noticed that, but we'll look for it if we can. Weapon icon, ammo count, and grenade count are missing from the user HUD. Yeah, that's right. I didn't notice, but that's true. It's not there. And leaving a trolley in a doorway, we're not going to see that. Locations. We're not going to look at caves. Gameplay, ASAP, yeah. Balance pass, we're not going to look at the DS. Let me see. Ship-to-ship docking and ASAP parasite ship changes. We made a few temporary changes to how parasite ships such as the P-52 and P-72 are handled for insurance and ASAP spawning, where ships are granted to the player because the ship, example Merlin and Iconi, is part of the ship's default loadout. The secondary attack ship should no longer be treated as a separate ship from the ASAP point of view. Because of this, they will no longer be spawnable via the ASAP unless you have bought in-game or pledged for these smaller ships separately. Okay, that's probably good. Merlins and other loadout-based ships will always be claimed by claiming the parent ship, and this is the only way to replenish them if destroyed. I think it might solve some problems. If a party member, friend, anyone is flying your Dock Merlin and you make a claim on the Connie, the previous instance of the parasite ship your friend, party member will flying will even be considered as a stolen vehicle. Doing this will give the pilot of it a crime stat for stealing the ship. Okay, that's probably not so good, but not a problem for me right now. Updated the Cyclone AMT missile, so you can, yeah, not interesting. And then there's a lot of bug fixes. We're not going to go for so much into that, but there is one thing that really, I mean, puzzled me with what they say that they have fixed as bugs. Let me show you up here. Known issues. Remember this. Quantum sensitive cargo can become stuck to the player's hand while lacking all functionality. Alright. Major bug fixes. quantum-sensitive cargo should no longer have a chance to become stuck to the player's hands while holding. So, fixed or not fixed? That's the question. But other than that, let's go in, and I will not go into much depth about the bugs themselves. That is, I mean, that is something for reports and all that, maybe a stream or anything like that, where we sort of, if people are interested in sort of getting me to sort of show out some of the bugs. I mean, some people do, but and I can also do it if people want it, if you want it, but it's not something that I think, it's not something that is meant for this today. So let's start up the game and get into the show. Welcome to 3.13 in Star Citizen. Let's get out of bed and see if we get to rubber band a little bit. So one of the things I would like for you to notice right away is that, first of all, you might ask, what is all this junk that you have up here in the corner? This is for debugging. Yes, this is for debugging purposes. So this QR code out here in the corner is something that CIG can use to, I think, get the exact moment of this instance here. And over here, just some general stats. One of the things that I would like for you to notice is that sometimes this number here, the BWin, will go down to 0.003 megabits per second, indicating that the server is somehow, I mean, losing connection, anything like that. It seems like it's sort of falling asleep. I'm not sure how to really explain it. And as you can see right here, we are missing the UI for weapons and anything like that. And also out here, the health and anything seems to be missing as well. But it might come... No, just let me try to put on my helmet and see if that will make a difference. There we go, let's see. Yeah, now we at least have this, so we have health, we have oxygen and all that. But otherwise not. But let's get started. I think what we are going to do first is to go take a little look at the mining UI. I think it's a pretty good idea. Let me first show you the new reputation UI. So as it looks right now, I have nothing because I haven't done any of these missions yet. They are apparently reset every time you get a new patch. They should be persistent. The data should be persistent, but the mission themselves will start over. So when I do the missions, you'll probably see me get quite a bit, perhaps too high for your taste, reputation on it. But let me just see if there's anything weird going on with the armor. No, there's not. But other than that, there's nothing. I won't go into much detail or show you a lot of missions in order to see how the reputation system works, but I will try to explain as much as I know about it right now. So, but let's start with let's start by pulling out my Mercury Star Runner. So at least you can get a little look at it and see the name and the serial number. So I mean, that's the first thing, right? Let's get a look at that. If I can spawn it, because there has been some issues with spawning. Pad 5. Perfect. And like I said, one of the reasons that I have all of this junk up in the corner right now, even though I am recording, is that if...
You are blocking an active flight bay.
How can...
Please vacate the vicinity.
yeah, that is a problem. Let's see if I can make it, or it will disappear for me.
Initiating ship storage procedure. For safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
It did. Oh, come on. You really can't be serious. Well, we can add that to the list of bugs if that keeps annoying me.
Warning, you are blocking an active flight bay. Please vacate the vicinity.
If this keeps going on, I think we need to get another ship, perhaps the Talon or anything like that. Admittedly, it was a little bit weird, wasn't it, that it just said that I'm blocking an active flight bay. Because, I mean, dang it, you put my ship there. I'm going to be quick about this because I don't want to risk it vanishing on the beneath my feet once again. So I will give you a more decent tour of the Star Runner at some point, but right now I'm just going to get it away from this bay as quickly as possible. But yeah, there seems to be some general bugs with landing and spawning ships and all that. Alright, so let me just show you. Yeah, let me show you what I wanted to show you at first. So let's first look at the ship naming. Hopefully it's still there. Oh yeah, there it is. Let me just show you. As you can see right there, Henrietta Lewitt. And if we look at this side here, I think you can see the registration number right there. What does it say? It looks like it said something like bug. It does. Bug. Bug 767380. And then Henrietta Lewitt. I mean, it is, in my opinion, it is a really beautiful ship. Some of the stuff you can see right there, some of the lines, the streaks that you can see, that is most likely part of the deterioration of the hull. I will try to repair it as little as possible so that you should be able to see this. And look at this, the top engine here looks like sort of the engine from a car. Looks pretty funny. Alright, but let's take a look at the missions that we have. So as always, doing Bounty Hunter, we have a tracker training permit and suspect apprehension certification. This is for real players, it's for PvP, and this is for PvE or NPC. So I'm going to take that, and it's probably going to spawn at Crusader because they usually always do that. There we go. Alright, so we are going to find and apprehend Katsumi Beauregard. Beauregard. Let me see where he is. No. My, he is at right here. Alright. So let's see if we can apprehend this guy. And I don't know if this is obvious, but I spent a little bit time before I made this video or started on it, upgrading my ship. So we will, we have some new power system and all that in it. We will overclock the front guns and the shields, if I can get to them. There. That should be it. Alright. Let's see if we can get this guy. So one of the things that I would like to see if they have fixed for now is that sometimes you have to wait an extreme amount of time before the guy spawns. Well, that was a pretty quick spawn, so that's a good thing.
Contact.
There should be him. Or what?
Missile locked. Attack on shields. Weapons too hot. Target destroyed.
I forgot to, Oh well, what I wanted to do is that you probably noticed that when you look at the target you can't see the shield status anymore. I wonder if you scan the target that you'll get information on the shields. But take a look now. Now we have the Bounty Hunter Guild, Bounty Hunter Guild, and for some reason, what? Someone?
Contact.
Who's that? Player or NPC? That's a player. That's a, sorry, that's an NPC.
On shields.
Not a Eclipse.
Weapons too hot. Weapons too hot. Weapons too hot.
Bye bye. All right, let's see. So yeah, for some reason, when I first just get the Bounty Hunter Guild, there's nothing populated down here. But when I get the next one, it is. Let's try to see if we can do that. Bounty Hunters verified for Crusader. It's for Hurston. Let's take the Hurston one. Because we are in this area here and what happens is basically the same. Is that where we are right now? No, not entirely. Close and pretty close. Alright, I'm going to do something completely insane. I'm going to get close to him, depending on what he's flying. And then I'll let him shoot me a little bit so that you can see the how the new shield effects are. So this might be one of these candidates where you have to wait around a couple of minutes before the bounty spawns. Let's see. No. Seems that it may have fixed it. Let me see if I can scan him and get some information of his shield from that.
Attack on shields.
Alright. So let me go out so you can see. See if I can make him shoot me a little bit. There you can see it. The new shield. Much nicer. Ah yes. Now I have shield information.
Weapons too hot. Weapons too hot. Attack on shields.
That was definitely desync. let me just show you. If we go into... So now you can see, if we look at the Bounty Hunters Guild, you can see I'm probationary guild member. Then you can get to junior guild member, senior guild member, veteran, and guild steward. As for Crusader, Hurston Security, you can see here, we have applicant. So when you get the mission, there are two outcomes, obviously. You can succeed, and then you go from applicant to associate contractor. Or you can miss it for some reason that I won't get much into here. Then you go to non-eligible, and then you will have to wait a couple of hours. Then you get the mission again, and you can start over. As you can see, the guild, Hunters Guild, they like me a little bit more than Crusader, but the idea is, and that's the really cool thing about this new system, is that you will have to increase your reputation with this guild and with the Hurston Security and all the mission, the personal contacts that you have and all that. And the more they like you, the more they will give you perks. For instance, Elite Operative give plus 20% payment bonus. Advanced give 15, Operative give 10, gets 10, Senior Contractor 5, a Contractor, no additional perks. So that's one of the cool things, and this is what I think will give the game a little bit more longevity in the long run. So let's take on another one, because now we can get some of the... What the heck is that? Oh, now we can see what it is. There he is. What are you flying, friend? Gladius. And it is a Damien Christoph. He's probably one of the security guys. Something. Alright, let's take on another mission, and I will sort of quickly just go into the act to show you. So let's just take a VLRT. Let's take this one as well. All right, let's take a look at what we have to work with. Oh, he's there. So I need to make a route. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the new one I got is at... Yeah, it's all over there. A little bit annoying that I can't get all the missions, all the bounty hunter missions in the same area.
Alert. Front crash close.
Oh, come on.
Alert. Port crash close. Contact. Target destroyed.
Alright, I've taken a couple of missions. As you can see right now, they definitely haven't really fixed the problem with the bounties taking a long time to spawn. But I will wait it out and take a couple of more bounties on, and then we can take a look at the reputation page when I'm done. We'll see you there. Oh yeah, also by the way, as you may have noticed, I am now flying in the Talon instead of the Esperia Talon instead of my Mercury Star Runner, and that was simply because, like you saw, I flew into something invisible, probably because of severe server desync, and then I had to change to this ship here. It is a pretty nice, cool looking ship. Just take a look at it from outside. Look at that. Looks like a really angry bird. And it can house 2 size 4 guns. Look at this, when I shoot them. I can peel the shields off before he's even started.
Attack on shields. Target destroyed.
Yeah, he did peel off my shields somewhat,
Fully charged.
but not enough. Let me see if I can find some light so you can see the bird here. Look at that. I mean, the wings here, they look so cool. Let me just show you. Now it's sort of in hawk mode. Now you can sort of spread out the wings like that. It looks really, really, really cool. I mean, this is one of the designs that they have really made different. All right, let's see. Shield critical. No, shields are not critical right now. All right, let's take a look. So now we can do some Crusader security. We can do very low risk, and we can do a low risk here in, and we can also clear criminal nest. That is a Daymar cave. That's probably one of the big caves. It changed right now, but still the same price. Not going to do that, but we're going to take. I'm going to take on a very low risk and a low risk and see what we can get from there. So again, you'll just get the gist of it because, I mean, no reason to bore you, right?
Contact. Target destroyed. Contact. Attack on shields. Shields fully charged. Shields fully charged. Target destroyed. Contact. Contact. Target destroyed. Attack on shields.
That is a cool sound. Alright, we landed at Port Olisar right now. Let's take a quick look at the Reputation UI, so the new Reputation. So as you can see, we conducted a couple of missions for Crusader Security, and we have gained we are now verified freelancer. We gained all the way up to Junior Security Associate, whereas in with Hurston we are still Associate Contractor, and with the Bounty Hunter Guild we are now a Junior Guild member, so we get Beginner's Permit available, and then we can get Journeyman License, Advanced, Master License, all the way up to no additional perks, Guild Steward. And that is the more you get with these contracts here, it also seems that it's harder not to lose it again. But you will gradually lose affinity with them, and affinity basically means how much they like you. If it goes into the red, they begin to dislike you. If it goes into the green, they begin to like you, and you make them like you by, conducting missions like I just did. Next, let's take a look at the new ship-to-ship docking. Alright, so I had a bit of unfortunate luck trying to get this Constellation Aquila spawned. But let me show you something, because one of the things that the patch notes mentioned was that the Snub Fighter should not be present in the A-sub terminal. Guess what? The Snub Fighter is present in the terminal. Let me see if it's also present here. That may be different though, but let's see. Constellation Aquila. Let's see. Propulsion or systems. Frostar. No, it's still here. Frostar EX and Frostar. That's for the Snub, and we still have this strange plane that is sort of going right through the, I'm not sure what the heck that is. Maybe it's a big version of the little Snub. I'm not sure. Yeah. Alright, but I'll try to spawn it again and see if I can show you.
Quantum drive is now off.
Alright, we are now in the middle of space in a Constellation Aquila, and for some reason these... Oh, that's right, it's the sensory parts, so there's only the top missiles. But nevertheless, we're going to I'm going to give you a little bit more demonstration on how the shields look now. I cannot compare to how they looked before, but you can go and watch any of my other videos and look at it there. One of the things I like about the Aquila is this rounded cockpit view here instead of that sharp angle. I think it looks much better than the original one. What guns are? Yeah, that's right.
System critical.
They're not very good at that. But let's get the Snub Fighter, the P-52 Merlin, started so that I can show you. And this is what I mean about, look at this. I mean, we do have a bench, and we do have a toilet bath here, and we do have some closets and weapon racks, but this definitely looks like something you would survive in, something that you wouldn't live in. As you'll see here, they had changed the back part here a little bit, because now you have sort of a area where you keep the air from getting out when you undock the Merlin. But let's get into it. The docking and undocking procedure is actually pretty cool. Let me just show you.
Your adventure courtesy of Kruger Intergalactic. Systems active.
So notice now when I press N, it should say engines on and then sort of let go.
Engine system active.
There we go. Let's get out. Anyway, let's target our little Aquila here. Even though it says no target, let's try to scan it. Still no target. Let me see what we shoot. Let me turn off that. See if I can find weapons. It must be this one. Let's turn that off. Let me see now. Yeah. All right. So take a look at the shield now when I shoot at it.
Friendly target. Friendly target.
See, instead of having this big blob that sort of just got up, let's try to.
Friendly target. Friendly target.
Let's try to get as close as we can and shoot directly at it.
Friendly target.
So one of the things that the shield should do is that they should change color
Friendly target.
as we knock them down. Let me try to go in a more direct spot, like from the top here. You should notice that when I shoot at the shields, they go from blue to reddish. If this even can manage to punch any kind of hole in the shields. Let's look at it from this angle here. Well, it seems that they go to a little bit more, sort of purple-ish, reddish. And that's also, and when the shields are completely down, they should go for more, almost down, they should go for more reddish color. I think we can see it. Let me try it like this. So you can see that it gets more reddish. And as the shields go completely down, they should go completely red. You can see it now. They're almost red, right? You can see it. And if I go up someone like this, you can see they're still blue. And as I go down here, they begin to be yellow, purple, reddish. And as we knock the shields down, they become completely red. Now, some people have pointed out and tried to look and see when the shields are completely gone. I don't know if they make any kind of special animation, anything like that. But they are definitely red now. Or they just disappear. No, they just disappear. But yeah, that's how it looks when you attack the shields. Let's try to dock the Merlin once again. Maybe I should have. Oh my god! Maybe I should have pointed it in the other direction. So that I don't get blinded by the sun. Let's see how close you have to be before it gives you the docking procedure thing.
Request to dock activated.
Alright, so now that we have this docking, when we get close enough, we should get some kind of UI that gives us all the information that we need. Maybe it's because... let me try to... That was. So this is this special UI that we have, and I haven't really found out how to use it yet. But I believe it's something like we need to be somewhere like this. Oh, maybe that's an explanation why it goes so insanely fast. It should be something like this. But then again, if you can't hit, you can just do this.
Auto-docking activated. Docking concluded.
There we are. Now we are docked.
Disengaged.
And that's it. That is all there is to this little Merlin snub fighter thing that we have on all the Constellation ships except the Taurus. It's the only one that doesn't have it. Alright, I'll set a destination for her L1, no, her L2, and then we're going to take a look at the mining UI, which I believe should be the last thing on my plate for you. So I will see you when we arrive. Alright, as I told you, one of the things that they have changed in the some of the Lagrange points like this is that they have, instead of having the benches and all that around here, we only have this part here and this big empty area here. I mean, it does look a little bit more industrial, but it honestly also just looks a lot more empty. Let me see if I could jump over. Let's try to go up here and take a look. And again, most of the benches here has been removed. You can stand and watch. I mean, it's okay that they have done it. I really don't. I mean, how many guys and players will sit up here and wait? So yeah. All right, let's take a look at the next item on the list, which is mining. In order to get a conversation going about mining, I think it's a good idea to take the mining ship. So I have chosen to use the Prospector in this case here because it's relatively easy to fill up. We don't need a lot of manpower, but obviously I will also test it all out in the mole, which I generally like better than the Prospector because the mole can hold a little bit more, actually almost doubled. In the previous version, in 3.12, we had consumables as the modules that we could put on the laser mining heads. So the consumables could be used 3 to 5 times, some of them one time. I think one of two could be used one time, I can't remember, but they could usually be used a couple of times. They extended the laser in some sense to a reasonable high degree. So for example, one of the modules that I used a lot is called Search on the Lancet head that I have here. It gives the laser a tremendous boost that shifts the power up.
Due to inactivity, we have been forced to assign your landing zone to another customer.
Yeah, obviously because you don't recognize that I've landed, but well, yeah. So it raised the level quite a bit. And I mean, I put out a video where you can see how I do mining with the Prospector, and also the mole. These new modules here are not consumables, they are permanent. Well, I mean, I think you'll lose them if you destroy the ship, but other than that,
You are blocking an active flight.
really.
Please vacate the facility.
Other than that, you'll keep them as long as you have them. So there are modules that does different things, and I haven't bought all of them, but I'll talk a little bit about what they do. So what is an ongoing thing about all of these modules is that they give you some advantages, but they will also give you some disadvantages. So while the other consumables usually just gave you something, a boost in some sort, they might reduce instability, they might increase instability or reduce increase resistance and all that, but generally they gave you something very high. These modules here comes in different, I think I would call it qualities. So the cheapest module will have a low quality, and the most expensive module will have higher quality on both ends. So let's take, for example, this Riga C3 model that I've put in here. The Riga C3 model modifies a mining laser's targeting system to locate and exploit microfractures within a deposit. Although deposit's resistance is increased, the optimal charge safe zone for the deposit is increased. So this means that you'll get the optimal charge window will be 10% higher, but the resistance will also be 6% higher. Now, the Lancet laser really decrease both resistance and instability with 75%. So 6%, I mean, that would be 69%, right? That's still a huge decrease. Then I also have the torrent module in here. The torrent module will keep your mining laser charged with the Torrent 3 model, designed to create a constant and low-level energy modulation, which will increase the laser's power output at the cost of making deposits slightly more unstable. So the laser power will get 4%, but the instability will be 3% increased. Again, minus 75 all the way around. I think it's pretty okay. Then we have the Vox C3. It will drop the instability with 10%, but will also give it will decrease the instability with 10%, but it will also remove or reduce the charge window with 4%. So it sort of goes a little bit contrary to this one here, except that it's resistance here. Then we have the XTR-XL module. The XTR-XL module expedites the collection of valuable minerals. Basically what it does is that it increases the rate that you can extract. That is increased by 50%. Then the downside is that when you mine, I mean not extract, but you do the normal mining, the laser power will be reduced by 2%. It's not much, but it's still there, especially when you use a Lancet. Then we have the FLTR-XL, and that's the one I also put in. It will decrease the extraction rate with 30%. That's pretty substantial, but we will get 20% less inert material. Now, one of the things that I'm pretty sure about here is that these modules here will stack. So let's say you are running a mole. You could put you could set one of your heads to be an extraction head, and then just put, I mean, 3 XTR-XL FLTR-XL modules on it. That means you'll get a 60% reduction in inert material. That is really substantial. You'll get 90% reduction in extraction rate, definitely. That is also something. But, I mean, it will take a long time to extract it, but you'll get way less inert material. But let's see these these three in action. So I have the Riga that will give me 10% increase in optimal charge window. So the green area will be larger. That's what it means. A little bit more resistance. The Torrent will give me 4% laser power and 3% in exchange for 3% increase in stability. And finally, we have the FLXTIXL module that will reduce the amount. It will decrease the extraction rate with 30%, but we'll get 20% less inert material. Let's see it in action. And again, I can't really guarantee that I can be allowed to spawn and get my ship, but we'll see about that when we get there. Alright, so I actually managed to to get the ship out, and right now I'm just searching for a random rock somewhere that we can mine. I'm pretty sure I saw something down here in this area here. Oh, we have something here. Ah, there. That's not too bad. But it is spread over a pretty big area, but nevertheless, we'll extract it. And alright. So let me show you one of the cool new things that we have gotten in the UI, the mining UI. It is still a little bit hazy to look at, but I will say this: the patch before, like it said, we had some kind of haze inside the cockpit of the prospector. That is gone now, so that has helped a lot. But the information here is much better than before. Up in the corner we have the mining laser. We can see that we're using the Lancet right here. The laser range is between 0 and 150. We are now 567 meters away. Means that we are out of range. As we decrease the range, we'll go from, I think it's in range to barely, something like that. So let's see when we get to 150 what it says. Insufficient. And then we go closer to sufficient. Sufficient. And then we go to optimal. There. Alright, now since I have the Lancet mining head on, it will take some time to break this rock. And I only have these, I wouldn't call it passive modules, but these non-expendable modules, so I don't have any surges or anything on like that. So it will probably take a little bit time to break the rock, but let's see how it goes. You can see that both our instability and the resistance is pretty okay. This is probably also not the most resistant rock that you can find. If we had find, I will almost say any variant of Quantanium, the instability would be way higher. And that is where the Lancet head is really, really good. Move a little bit away so that we're still in the sufficient area. There we go. Alright, let's just find something good to break. Inert. Not that, definitely. Let's see, 31% Barasa. Yeah, that's an okay rock. So we have 39% inert here. That means that we can subtract 20% of that if we extract it here. Now, we are not going to extract this rock here. We're going to break it further on. But that's how you need to sort of consider these modules that we put on. We're now ready to extract, so we're just going to go for the one with the Borasa. The Borace, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Let's see what we have here. Also nice. A little bit more inert. Take a look at that. 31%. Let's look at this. That's better. Again, I will say one of the huge advantages of the mole compared with the prospector is that you don't have to be as picky with what you mine, but more importantly, you can have 3 different laser heads on one ship, and that can actually make a difference even if you're solo mining. Because let's say you want to mine both Quantanium and everything else. So you can, for example, use the impact or the helix for everything that is not Quantanium, meaning that you can break it pretty quickly. And when you want to then mine Quantanium, you use the Lancet head instead. No, not the Lancet, the Lancet head on the so you have 3 heads on one ship. That is actually a substantial positive thing. All right, let's just pick up this as well. I mean, I'm not here for earning money in that sense. Let's see what we have here. A little bit of server lag. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see what we have here. A lot of inerts. I think, pretty sure this was better. This was... no, actually not. I've just moved the ship a little bit to the side. Oh, we also had this one. Couldn't even see it. That's also inert. So what do we have here? We have inert. Too much inert. And inert. So let's go for this one. No, let's go for this one because it does hold 34% Borace or Borasa or Borace. And we might break it into something betterer. So see what we have here. That's okay. Let's see, what is this? What is this? 31 or 35, sorry. Let's see. 17. 3. Let's go for the 35% here. What was this? 100% inert.
Fracturing mode on.
Quite confident that we won't get as much good out of this one here. But you shall never say never. And we only have a little bit left. Depending on what we get, I might sniff up the other rock over there instead. To my left. Let's see what we have. See, that's a lot of inert. Lot of inert, so no, let's just pick up this one. I think this was 17%, yeah. There we go, we're full.
Fracturing mode on.
Turn mining off. Find our way back to the station and refine it. And again here I would like to show you that we actually got a new UI with refining as well. And my ship will probably get impounded once again because it doesn't recognize that I land. Alright, we are now at the refinery station. As you can see, we are greeted with a completely different... Thank you.
Feel free to take a look around. We got a pretty good selection.
Thank you. A completely different UI. It's basically the same, but it has some advantages. Let me show you. So I shouldn't have anything going unless it... No, it didn't remember from last time. So we're going to select the prospector when it... There it is. As you can see, we actually got a pretty okay yield. So we are going to go through the different methods and talk about them. So the Cormac method, the first one, is high speed, moderate yield, moderate cost, low yield. Pyrometric is low speed, high cost, high yield. Why would you select that? Gaskin, high speed, high cost, moderate yield. XTR, high speed, high cost, low yield. Ferron exchange, low speed, moderate cost, high yield. That would be something, right? Electrostereolysis, moderate speed, moderate cost, moderate, just moderate. My former preferred very low speed, low cost, high yield. So, and now we have thermonatic deposition, low speed, low cost, moderate yield. And casein winnowing, sounds like a name. Moderate speed, low cost, low yield. So for me, it is between... No, it was Ferron? Yeah. Low speed, moderate cost, high yield. And the Denix again, that is very low speed, low cost, high yield. So let's try to see what the Denix gives us. We're going to select it all. And get a quota. 861, and it will take 1 day. Let's compare it with the Ferron. Low speed, moderate cost, high yield. 1722, it will take 8 hours and 2 minutes. So a substantial increase in speed for a slight double the price, I would say. But still, it depends. You get high yield, so do you want high yield with low speed, or do you want high yield with very low speed? When you play on the PTU, I would argue that the fastest you can get with high yield is the preferred one. Because there can come another patch tomorrow and then whatever you did would be wiped. But if you select 8 hours, that is reasonable. You can do it in the morning and then you can collect it in the evening, the night. So let's confirm this. Let me show you something they have done that is very cool. Oh, well, except for that.
Finding everything all right?
So if it didn't lock me out, we would get a little screen here that says a job accepted or something like that. So we are taking 32% capacity. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope that it has given you some new insight into what you can expect from 3.13 when it comes out. Obviously there's more to this patch and I will probably try to cover it in different videos. I will also try my best to put out videos every time something significant is solved with the patches here. Also, if we discover new bugs that you should be aware of and anything like that, I will try to do my best to keep you updated as best as I can with all the other things that I have that is going around with me. Alright, I hope that I will see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye bye.